This is my second year here. Last year, at this event, we spoke about connecting the Caribbean with Africa, right? Right on the stage, we mentioned how we could connect mobile wallets, mobile money that exists in the Caribbean with mobile wallets that exist here in Africa. It was pretty much theory at that point in time. A lot has happened since then. Oh, that's me. I had a lot less here. A lot has happened since then. We've partnered with an awesome distributed ledger technology company that has allowed us to bring this solution to life. I'll get more on that in a bit. But before I go forward, how many of you last year would have been part of my keynote? All right, a couple. All right, so I guess what we could do is the WiPay video about the network, which talks about what WiPay is. We're from the Caribbean. We're actually based now in Miami. We're the largest payment facilitator in the Caribbean. Launched now in Miami for the Caribbean diaspora. We provide payment facilitations to everyone from individuals to government organizations. So I guess we could play that video, which would give us a bit more insight on WiPay and what we're trying to do, and then I can get back to it.
The Caribbean. 16 countries. Connected in every way, but financially disconnected. This region possesses 10 unique currencies but no inter-island settlement. In the Caribbean, transactions originated in Trinidad needs to go to a correspondent bank in the US before it settles into another country. But this can be solved. Introducing WiCoin. WiCoin is a stable coin being developed by WiPay for use within its network of over 50,000 websites and point-of-sale terminals across the Caribbean that processes individual, government, and corporation transactions. WiPay's privately owned network has created a unified settlement network for the Caribbean, called the Caribbean Settlement Network. This solves one of the greatest financial problems that exists in the Caribbean: cross-border settlement. Each Caribbean country has their own currency that trades primarily with the US dollar. By pegging the WiCoin to the US dollar, transactions from one country to another can maintain the expected value, because local currencies maintain its value against the US currency. WiCoin is a stable coin that exists on WiPay's network that would facilitate inter-island transactions without the need for correspondent banking. WiCoin, through its partnership with WiPay, would replace WiPay's digital fiat solutions, which is utilized by a number of governments and private sector entities across the Caribbean immediately, giving WiCoin real-world value. WiCoin stablecoin can also solve interbank USD settlement by creating a real-time settlement rather than 2 to 5 day wire transfers. But how does WiCoin solve this? The WiCoin is a smart contract built on a proof-of-stake distributed ledger system, where the owner of the WiCoin earns a fraction of every transaction.
These virtual assets in parallel with the monies. One, nobody could have control that you have to pass it to a corresponding bank.
WiCoin is registered in the island nation of Grenada, which just passed legislation to regulate digital currencies. This stablecoin, paired with WiPay's Caribbean payment network, shall create the Caribbean's first unified currency.
Mic check. So that's a quick background on WiPay and our settlement network. So Africa. There's a lot of similarities between Africa and the Caribbean. Number of countries, different currencies, different exchange rates, different values against corresponding currencies, right? So how do we bring a technology that allows for movement across borders and eliminates the need for correspondent banking? If we provide a solution that's pegged the value of the settlement currency against a currency that you currently have your currency pegged against. Let me say that over. If the value of the settlement currency is currently pegged against the value of your corresponding currency, in this case, US dollar or pound, you maintain the value of a transaction across borders. And that's what we have done with WeCoin. In this case, we call it the Volt Network. It's evolved since last year. Our partnership with Hedera allows us to now build this technology. Big up Hedera. How we are approaching this cross-border payments is not through financial institutions primarily, but through mobile wallets and mobile money operators, licensed mobile wallets and mobile money operators, where they would have a custodian account on the network that will allow for settlement in their local currency, and then a corresponding mobile wallet would have a custodian account on the network in their currency, which would allow for settlement in that country. So last year we talked about it. This year we're actually going to demonstrate it. We've done a test transaction between two of our countries and two of our wallets last night on the Hedera network. The reason I pointed out last night is if any of you guys follow Hedera, they have the Dragon Glass protocol that you could log on and track every transaction on there. So you would see that this transaction that moved money from one country to the next to one mobile wallet without the need for a corresponding bank, without the need for converting it back into fiat, was successful. And we've been doing it, and I'll get into use cases after the demonstration. But right now, mobile wallets can do cross-border payments once you're licensed to do remittance and origination without the need for converting that local currency into a foreign currency or even into fiat. So let's boot up the demo from last night. If anyone here follows Hedera, you could actually go on Dragon Glass and track this particular transaction. So the transaction last night was between TT, Trinidad and Tobago, where we moved 70 TT dollars. You could pause real quick. So if you look on there, the Trinidad dollar amount is 70, but the WeCoin amount is 10. So the current exchange rate between TT dollars and US dollars is 7 to 1, sorry. So that $10 is actually the equivalent of 10 US dollar, which in Jamaica, they would accept 10 US at their exchange rate. The 31 cents is the flat transaction fee we charge. You could go ahead. So we just purchase a coin on the Hedera network using the person's email or phone number. That person is in Jamaica. You just had Jamaica at the bottom. I missed it. So you can hit pause one more time. So right now we're actually transferring, and this is two separate wallet providers. The APIs give you a display if you can't do your development itself. We have a hosted display. That's why it looks exactly the same. But we're about to move $70 TT, which is the equivalent to $15,000 Jamaican, without ever actually converting the money. The $10 that you see that's going to move is 10 WeCoins, which is equivalent to $10 US, which both countries accept as an exchange rate for their currency against a US dollar. You could go ahead. So this peer right here, this is Hedera, taking a bit of time. And get stop right there. So he received 10 WeCoins, which has a current Jamaican dollar value of $1,530. the guy in Trinidad sent $70. So to put it in perspective, you go into your local mobile money account and you transfer, 1,000 CD. Is that like $10? Something like that? US? Right. Good. So you, you put 1,000 CD through your local mobile money account, Momo, Vodafone, and you send that to Jamaica. You actually load 1,000 CD or 1,100 CD. It would have an equivalent of $10 in WeCoin because it's backed against the US. It could now transfer to a wallet that's connected to the API in Jamaica, and that local wallet would pay out in Jamaican dollars $1,530 because that's the current exchange rate. So what we achieved with Hedera is actually cross-border payments without the need for correspondent banking. And we're making this available to mobile wallet operators via APIs, mobile money operators via APIs. Again, the prerequisite would be in your local country, you have to be licensed. You have to have remittance license if you have to pay out and so forth. But this is a technology that we started with last year. It's now developed, and an interesting thing happened within the last few months where it was built for cross-border payments, but some use cases that we had zero line of sight on popped up that's now actually utilizing this service way more than cross-border payment at this point in time. I'm not too sure if you guys have a huge credit union league here in Ghana or in Africa, but credit unions are huge in the Caribbean. But credit unions are small, independent organizations, which is normally based in communities, far-reaching communities. You can't go to one credit union and access your funds in a second credit union. It's not interconnected. Through a partnership with the Credit Union League 2 months ago, we now integrated over 200 credit unions on this network that would allow for transactions from one credit union to the next without having to set up their own settlement network like you would with a bank or a central bank. So it's all privately owned, a credit union network that sits on the Hedera platform / WiPay Vote network. So we expect those transactions to pick up. We were signing them up. That came out of the fact that it solved a need between connecting two separate platforms that allow you to move funds from one ledger to a next without actually having the two ledgers integrated. So we provide that middle ground via APIs. I think that's the last one. So building the solution, coming from a highly regulated environment in the Caribbean, we've built in some couple cool features onto this platform. You could go back real quick, just hit pause on that screen that you had just before. So this is for the regulators. Because it's on a distributed ledger, every transaction, successful or not, is tracked. We provide the regulators on both sides access to the ledger where they could track the transaction from origination to settlement. So you would see Ryan Chingsang, that's the guy that we send it to. You see the WeCoin exchange, that's where we converted the money from the local currency to WeCoin. And then lower down, you'd see the origination account where the money originated in TT dollars. And everything is tracked, and the regulators on both sides have access to the network so that they can provide oversight on all transactions, both originating and settling into the wallets. So that's the regulator view. We also have the public ledger oversight, again, being built on Hedera's distributed ledger technology. You could actually log on to Dragon Glass and track every single token on the network. So let's say you're sending money or receiving money, and I say, oh, yeah, I sent it. You could actually go on to Dragonglass on the Hedera network and see if I actually sent that transaction. So what we believe we're providing both the regulators and the customers access to oversight. We believe that we have an easier path to acceptance in markets because we gave both individuals the confidence that they could see and track their transactions. We give regulators access, more so than Western Union, money transfer, any of these remittance companies or cross-border settlement companies, because we give you direct access into the platform where you could track and view every transaction. So end to end, we believe with the Hedera network, as well as this technology, we will be able to provide mobile wallets, mobile money operators with a tool that would allow for cross-border payments, as well as interoperability within countries. Thank you.